What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel, and today I have an updated Blackwing deck profile post Darkwing Blast using some of the new support cards that came out of the set, even though the cards won't be released for quite some time. But you guys are probably wondering, wait a minute, today's Tuesday, you just did a video today, why are you doing it now when you could be doing the video tomorrow, which will be Wednesday? Well, unfortunately, some things that came up for tomorrow. I'm gonna be sort of busy tomorrow. I got some errands to run. I'm not gonna be able to make it in time to get to film the video and excuse me, and post it same at the during that same time frame. So that's why I decided to deal with it now, get it over with, and showcase you guys how crazy the new support is for Blackwings. And let's not forget, we have not gotten any new Blackwing support. I think it's been about, I would say it's about, what, 4 years, if I remember correctly? If I'm right on this, I believe it had been about 4 years, 3-4 years. Hang on a second, let's see. White Dragon Abyss. I believe the set came out about literally a few years ago, if my memory is correct. 18, 19, 20, 22. Yeah, 4 years. It's been 4 years since we've had some new Blackwing support, and today we are finally getting that new support. I'm gonna be honest, looking at the new support cards and after overlooking the cards that I had talked about a number of weeks ago, I'm gonna be honest, I am actually loving the new support. I think, to be perfectly honest, in my opinion, I think the deck could very may well be the next meta deck if it's built correctly, and I think this build right here is the best version of itself I had ever seen in years. So hopefully you guys enjoy this deck profile. If you guys do, and you guys want to see more deck profiles in the future, make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any future content. And follow me on Twitter and Instagram. The links will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. Let's get straight into it. First up, I know what you guys are thinking. You guys are thinking about what cards are in the deck. So when it comes to a card like Simone the Poison Wind, people prefer to run this at 3 because it's a great way to thin out the deck even further. Now, and while it is true that is the case, this deck with this deck, you're almost guaranteed to see your copies of Black Whirlwind or Black Feather Whirlwind turn one, in your opening hand. So for this build, I am running 1 copy each of Simone the Poison Wind and Zonda the Timely Knight. Timely Knight actually is really good because while it is true that you are locked out of your extra deck except for synchro monsters, it gives you a chance to just compulse one of your opponent's cards back to your hand, and not only that, but you get to you can banish the card from your grave, and you can basically special summon any level 5 or higher Blackwing monster from your hand or deck, and then you take damage equal to its attack. So 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 in a scenario where Simone is still in your deck, you can then trigger Zonda's effect, summon Simone, take 1600 damage, and Simone and you can basically use Simone to go into a level 7 play, or use it as link material for White Strix, which is really good. So that's why I only decided to run one copy of each, because you're gonna be seeing Black Whirlwind anyway. Even if you don't see Simone, you're gonna be seeing Black Whirlwind at some point during the match, especially when you thin out the deck off of the effects of cards, such as Vada, and even also Black Whirlwind as well, and of course the wing requittals as well. You're pretty much guaranteed to see Black Whirlwind really easily. Next up, we have 3 copies of Blackwing Crystal Crack of Dawn. This card is just really good. It's a 1900 beater, and if you normal summon it while you have Black Whirlwind, you can just roll out any Blackwing you want from your deck, except for Zonda. Zonda has 2300, but if you normal summon Zonda with Black Whirlwind on board, then you're pretty much just guaranteed to add pretty much any Blackwing you damn well desire. So you can add Simone, you can add Bora, you can add Shamal, Oster, Kalut, Blizzard, Harmattan, even also Chinook, which is also in this deck as well. There are so many possibilities with these cards. It's absolutely insane. And the amount of tuners that are in this deck, you have 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 9. You have 9 tuners in this deck, and each and every one of them is basically just helps you go into cards such as Blackwing Dragon, Silverwind the Ascendant, Cypher Lord Omega, Raikiri the Rain Shower, all of which are in the extra deck, but I'll explain why once we get into the extra deck later on. But Chris the Kraken is just so good because it can't be destroyed by spell and trap cards. Excuse me. So not even a Regeki, not even cards like Evenly Match. None of those cards can affect Chris the Crack of Dawn, but you want to try and have Chris as much as possible. So if you do decide to normal summon it while Black Whirlwind is on board, you can easily search out for Gale the Whirlwind. You can easily search out Gale the Whirlwind, special summon it, trigger its effect, target one of your opponent's monsters, cut its attack in half, cut its attack and defense in half, and then tune Gale to Chris the Crack of Dawn, and you can easily get Raikiri the Rain Shower, which basically acts as a Harvey's Feather Duster Regeki, so to speak, which is just absolutely insane. Next up, we have 3 copies of Bora the Spear. This card can inflict piercing, but again, the main focus of the deck is summoning out basically some of the best monsters from the extra deck, which includes cards like Blackwing Assault Dragon, Full Armor Master, Cyphering Lord Raikiri, Hawk Joe, which basically is a Monster Reborn, and of course Arc Rebellion, which I am running in the extra deck, but again, we'll get to the extra deck later on. We're also running 1 copy of Zephyros the Elite as a way to just help further your plays a little bit, which is just really good. And plus, Zephyros is Zephyros. Zephyros will always be good no matter what. Then, of course, we are running another one of the new cards in the deck. We have only a single copy of Shamal the Sandstorm, and the reason why I'm only running 1 is because you don't want to be dealt a lot of damage, and plus, because of the fact that I've got the Cyphering Lord Omega, and the fact that I also have the Black Feather Whirlwinds in deck, you only need 1 copy of Shamal anyway, because off of Black Feather Whirlwind and the Cypher Omega, you can use Shamal's effect over and over again when it's in the graveyard, which is really good. So its effect reads, you can send this card from your hand or field to the grave. Place one Black Feather Whirlwind from your deck face up in your spell trap zone. If a Blackwing Synchro monster or monsters and or Blackwing Dragon is special summoned to your field while this card is in your grave, you can banish this card, then target a Blackwing monster in your grave, add it to your hand, that takes 700 damage. So it basically acts as Graveyard Rhoda while this card is in your grave. You banish it, you can then add cards like, cards like Gale or Chris or even also Oster back to your hand, and when you and then you can resummon it back to your field off of the effect of Black Feather Whirlwind, or if you have the Cypher Omega on board, you can then send it back. You can send Shamal back into your graveyard, summon yet another Blackwing Synchro, trigger its effect again, and you're pretty much just able to get out some of the more better synchros that your opponent cannot out. If they can't out those monsters, you essentially just win. And Shamal basically just helps further those plays even more, which is nuts. So only one copy, only one copy, which is really good. Next up, we have 2 copies of Blackwing Sathuri, the Illusory Spark. This card basically is token summon. So when you normal summon this card, you can basically just Rhoda out any card that mentions Blackwing Dragon to your hand, which could literally be Black Feather Whirlwind, it could be Vada, it could be almost anything. And what's even more cool is that you can tribute one of your monsters and summon a Spark token, which is a tuner monster, which helps you go into cards like Nathan the Starlight, and even also Boreas the Evil Winds, which is really good. So if you have, let's say, just as a random example, let's say for example you have an impermed Blizzard of the Far North, and you cannot use it. You can't use its Reborn effect, and let's say you're not allowed to use it as synchro material. You can then tribute the Blizzard, get out the token, and you get Nathan or Boreas either way, no matter what, which is just absolutely incredible. Obviously too, you do take 700 damage, but with a deck like this, damage doesn't mean anything, especially if you've got Blackwing Dragon on board, or if you have or even if you have Blackwing Assault Dragon. Damage don't mean jack shit with Blackwing Dragon, because yeah, with Blackwing Dragon you're pretty much just fucked, basically. Your opponent is fucked. D-O-N-E fucked. Next up, we have 2 copies of Blackwing Oster the Southwind. This is only in here to help get out the full power of Blackwing Full Armor Master, because with Full Armor Master it acts as a snatch steal for the deck, which is really good. And also too, it acts as another form of Black Feather Whirlwind, where you get to special summon one of your Blackwing monsters that was banished, which is just really good. So just like Black Feather Whirlwind, this card also acts as a DDR, so to speak, which is just really good. Which is just really good. Next up, we have triple copies of Kalut the Moon Shadow. Shoutouts to Simo and his Season 1 Progression Series, where he just played Blackwings for like over 2 months. Shoutouts to that. Yeah, can we get that this season, please? Kalut is just a house. It's basically... It just helps deal even more damage to your opponent. Not much else to say about that. Next up, we have 3 copies of Gale the Whirlwind. This card is just self-explanatory. One of the oldest, but one of the best tuner monsters in the entire Blackwing archetype, this card is just a house. A fucking house. I don't have anything else to say about it except this card, any 4-star monster, you get a level 7, you're off to the races from there. We've got the one Blizzard of the Far North as a Monster Reborn. I know that some people believe that this is better at 2. Personally, I don't think so, but I might cut it to 2. I might bring it up to 2. I'll have to see. I'll have to see, but again, this is basically a Monster Reborn, and it also helps you go into Nathan or Boreas much quicker that way as well, which is really good. Next up, we have 2 copies of Harmattan the Dust. If you don't have the right levels to summon a Blackwing monster, you know, like say full Armor Master or whatever, then Harmattan just helps ensure that you get into full Armor Master really quickly, which is absolutely insane. And then, of course, we got 2 copies of Blackwing Vada the Knave. This is basically value on steroids. That's all I can tell you. This card just basically helps go into Blackwing Dragon. This card is a 1-card this card is a 1-card Blackwing Dragon. So I'll read its effect to you guys if you guys never heard of the card at all. Its effect reads: if you control a Blackwing monster other than Vada the Knave, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only summon it once per turn this way. During your main phase, you can send this card on the field and one more Blackwing non-tuners, one or more Blackwing non-tuners from your deck to the grave, whose total levels exactly equal 8. And if you do special summon Blackwing Dragon from your extra deck, and you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, except Darks. You can only use the effect once per turn. So again, it's a 1-card. It's a 1-card Blackwing Dragon, but if you get Blackwing Dragon on board turn 1 and you're able to excuse me, and you're able to summon Boreas as well, you can then activate Boreas' effect, send Blizzard to your graveyard. Boreas becomes level 2, and you can easily go into either full Armor Master or Blackwing Assault Dragon, depending on what you want to summon, which is really good. And then to round up the Blackwings, we got Chinook, 1 copy of Chinook, the Snow Strike. This is another card that can deal damage, so that's why I only decided to cut it to 1. But what's cool about this card is that its effect, which reads: you can send this card from your hand or field to the grave, and it's target a face-up monster your opponent controls. Send a Blackwing Synchro monster or Blackwing Dragon from your extra deck to the grave, and if you do, until the end of the turn, the targeted monster loses 700 attack. Also, its effects are negated. Okay, so I thought that this was another one that could deal damage, but this is basically imperm. This is basically the imperm for the whole deck, which is really good. And you only need one. You only need one in the deck because you already have a bunch of negations and whatnot. Off of cards. Such as the Omegas, the Raikiri and whatnot, and even also the traps also just ensure that that your opponent's plays do not go through, which is really good. Obviously, it's a quick effect if you control a Dark Synchro, which you're pretty much bound to have a Dark Synchro on board really quickly, which is really good. Then of course, and then to round up the monsters, I'm running a very small Raid Raptor package. So I've got the 1 Raider's Wing and the 1 Raid Raptor Strangleanius as a way to just help further your plays and to help summon Raider's Knight to go into the Ark Rebellion, or to help go into the Raid Raptor White Strix, or to help go into any of the synchros that don't require a Blackwing, which could be Raikiri, Shidori. Nathan, Boreas, or even Blackwing Dragon as well, which is really good. Moving on into the spells, there are 11 spells in this deck. We got the 3-Wing Requital, which is basically a pot of grief for the deck, which is absolutely nuts. So it says, if all monsters you control are winged beast monsters and you control at least 2 monsters with different original names, pay 600 life points, draw 2 cards. Plain and simple. It's a pot of grief. I don't have anything else to say about it. For the one-ofs of the deck, we got the one Monster Reborn, the one Called by the Grave, and the one Harpy's Feather Duster, which just those three alone are absolutely incredible. And then to round up the spells, we got the triple black Whirlwind, which is basically a Rhoda for the deck, and 2 copies of Black Feather Whirlwind. I know that some people prefer to put this at 1. I prefer to put this at 2, especially if you have Shamal in hand and your first Black Feather Whirlwind was destroyed. You can then activate Shamal's effect to play the second Black Feather Whirlwind onto your field, which is just absolutely insane. And it also acts as a DDR, just like the Shamal, which is really, really good. Now for the traps, there are only 6 of them. We have 2 copies of Delta Crow Anti-Reverse, which is basically a Harpy's Feather Duster, but for face down cards, which is kind of unfortunate, but it's still pretty good. If you're able to activate it during the end phase, it's pretty nice. Then of course we have 2 copies of Black Sonic, which basically acts as a Dark Mirror Force for the deck. Absolutely nuts. Banish all of your opponent's attack position monsters when it declares an attack on a Blackwing monster. Absolutely insane. And then of course we have 2 copies of Black Shadow Squall. This is the new counter trap for the deck, which reads can't even speak. When a spell or trap card is activated, remove 1 Black Feather counter from your field, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. If you control Blackwing Dragon, you can set this card from your grave, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use 1 Black Shadow Squall effect per turn, and only once that turn. So this works in conjunction with the Cypher Omega, because you can put it back into your graveyard and just reset it over and over and over and over again, and you basically have like a mini solemn judgment of sorts, which is just absolutely insane. But that is it for the main deck. For the extra deck, I'm going to go from Links to Synchro to showcase you guys how crazy this extra deck lineup is. So first up, the only lane monster that's in the extra deck is the one Ray Raptor White Strix, which just helps further your synchro plays. Helps thin out the deck by getting out Zephyros, or pretty much any of the other like 4-star monsters that you may have that are one-ofs. It just helps thin out the deck even quicker, which is just absolutely insane. Unfortunately, I was running the 4 Strix Cyber Dragon Infinity combo, but I decided to cut it out and just make it a pure Blackwing Synchro build, with the addition of obviously the White Strix, the one Raiders Knight, and the Arc Rebellion, which is just it's a house. Raiders Knight, Arc Rebellion, you're off to the races there. So as you guys saw from the main deck, I am not running any rank up spells, unfortunately. But for the synchro monsters, we got the one Boreas the Evil Wind, which I had said before, you can send Blizzard to your graveyard. Boreas becomes level 2, and if you have Blackwing Dragon on board, you can summon full Armor Master or Blackwing Assault Dragon, which it's just a house. It is a house. There ain't much to say about that at all. We got the 1 copy of Nathan the Starlight, which can not only deal damage to your opponent, but one of your opponent's monsters loses 800 attack and defense, and you're also able to normal summon again as well. So it acts as a double summon for the deck. So if you normal summon Bora the Spear, you can then normal summon Chris the Crack of Dawn, and if you have 2 copies of Black Whirlwind, you're basically adding 4 Blackwings to your hand, which helps you which helps you dig deeper into your Blackwing Synchro arsenal, which is just absolutely insane. We got the 1 Blackwing Armor Master, the original. Obviously, this card cannot be destroyed in battle, and you take no damage for battles involving the card. But what's cool about this card is that you can place a Witch counter on one of your opponent's monsters, remove it, and the attack and defense of the monsters that had Witch counters becomes 0, which can help deal a shit ton of damage, which is insane. We got the one Obsidian Hawk Joe, which basically is a Monster Reborn for the whole deck. And what's even more cool about it is that when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets this card only, or when this card is targeted for an attack by your opponent's monster, which is a quick effect, you can target one of the Blackwing monsters you control that would be an appropriate target. The target effect, the card effect or attack becomes that new target, which is insane. So it basically acts as a attack guidance armor for the deck. You can direct the attack, the effect, or whatever to any of the Blackwing monsters that you may have at your disposal, which is a house. It's just too broken. This card is a Monster Reborn. Not much else to say about that. We got the one Shidori, the Rain Sprinkling, which is probably one of the most powerful of the Assault Blackwings, because this card gains 300 attack for each Blackwing monster in your graveyard. So if you have like 7 Blackwings, that's like, let's see, 300 times 7, that's 2100 plus 26, that's 4700. It can go up to 10k damage for all we fucking know. But guys, I'm telling you, Shidori is a house, and it also becomes a tuner when it's summoned, which is incredible. And when it's destroyed and sent to the grave, you can target a winged beast synchro in your grave, except Shidori, and you're able to summon it. So it acts as sort of like another Hawk Joe of sorts, which is really good. Then of course we've got the one Raikiri, the Rain Shower, which can pop not only back row but your opponent's front lines as well, which is insane. We got the one side Front Lord Omega as a way to send Shamal back into the graveyard, as well as the Black Shadow Squalls. So you're able to use Squall's effect again, as well as Shamal's, so you're able to further your plays really quickly, which is insane. We got the one Silverwind, the Ascendant, which is probably the worst of the Blackwing synchros, but it's still a 2800 beat 6, so cannot go wrong with that. Speaking of 2800 beat 6, we got the Blackwing Dragon, which is just a house. Not much. It's just too broken. Too broken. There ain't much to talk about it at all. Then of course we got the 2 full armor masters to pair off with the 2 Oster, the Southwind. Southwind basically can put Black Feather counters on all monsters that your opponent controls, and if that's the case, full armor master's effect will trigger. You get to snatch steal one of your opponent's monsters, special summon Gale because you have full armor master on board, and you can tune Gale with that monster to go into a Raikiri if it's a 4-star monster, and you're able to just pop your opponent's board really quickly, and you attack for game, which is incredible. And then, and then to round up the main deck, we got the one Blackwing Assault Dragon. You only need one in the deck because with cards like Omega and with cards like Omega, you can basically just put Blackwing Assault Dragon back into your graveyard. Back into your graveyard. And you can basically just go back into your Assault Dragon really quickly, which is just incredible. Moving on into the side deck, I kind of switched it up just a little bit, not too much, but the side deck is mainly going up against decks that basically can do a lot with just one turn. So I am running 2 copies of Ash Blossom, 2 copies of Ghost Ogre, 2 copies of Ghost Spell, 3 copies of Triple Tactics Talent as a way to basically help draw more cards. So if you activate, let's say Wing requital and your opponent activates Ash, you can then activate Triple Attack's talent, and you get the Pot of Greed effect either way, which is hilarious. We got the 2 Blackwing Backlash, which basically is mirror, which is basically a mirror force, which is just incredible. And then of course we got the 2 Solemn Strikes and the 2 Solemn Judgments. Solemn Warnings. So 2 strikes and 2 warnings. All in all, I love this deck. I'll be posting the deck list on my Instagram about an hour or 2 after this video gets put up. So make sure you guys follow me on Instagram. The link is in the description. Let me know, guys. I want your guys' opinion. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on this deck. How good? Let me know how good or how bad you think the deck is. I think the deck is perfect. It's perfect the way it is. I literally had to rebuild it to a point where I needed to take out. I literally had to take out so many cards. I took out the Vayu. I took out a lot of the other cards that ended up becoming breaks in the deck. There are hardly any breaks in the deck except for Zonda and possibly Simone. But other than that, there's hardly any breaks. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this deck profile. If you guys did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want to see more deck profiles in the future, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you guys do not miss out on any new content that comes your way. And make sure you guys follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. All the links will be in the description below. And if you guys have any family you guys want to send me and you guys want me to open it up on the channel, all the info will be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.